Meeting to be held on Thursday, January 16, 2020, at the Laredo International Airport Conference Room, second floor, 5210 Buffalo Loop, Laredo, Texas, at 12 p.m. for the following items of business. I'm calling the meeting to order and roll call.
You want to call the roll call, Ruthie?
Bruno Slide. Roberto Mancha.
Here.
Ricardo Garza.
Here.
Luis Peregrin.
Here.
Jerry Jacobs is excused. Mr. Coronado
yeah,
is
hi.
there for him,
Sitting in for
representing him. Joe Garza.
Here.
Tony Martinez.
Here.
Joaquin Rodriguez.
Present.
J.J. Gomez Jr.
Here.
Y Dennis Gutierrez.
Here.
Staff quorum.
Good, thank you.
You got a quorum.
The approval of the minutes for the November 14th meeting. Do you all want to discuss any part of it? Are you all in favor of approving them? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, public comments? Any public comments on here? And we'll go through it again at the end of the meeting to see what else you guys want to bring, or you all want to bring it to the agenda for next time around. I'd like to welcome everybody. Happy New Year to all. Hope everybody had a safe and restful holiday season, as I did. I look forward to working with everybody for this upcoming year and turning it around and making it better than it was in 2019. Communications from the Finance Department personnel.
Were they coming?
Yeah. Nayeli was
I'll push it
coming.
over.
She
I'll
hasn't
push it over
arrived
to the end.
Okay.
Discussion and possible action items. Do you all want to discuss the items as to, well, do you want to set the meeting for next time around?
Yeah, let's bring the.
So we're saying that the meetings that we're having is pretty much on the second Thursday of the month or third Thursday of the month, we decided, right?
Right. Originally started with Wednesday,
Around
then
the
we.
15th and 7th, in that area?
13th through 15th, Thursday of the month. So
Okay.
we, normally the second Thursday of the month?
Second Thursday of the month sounds good.
For the whole year, Saturday night?
I would think that would be the best thing, and if we have, as we did this year, where we held back on December
Right.
because of the holiday season, then we can do that at that time.
You want to go ahead and just set the dates for the year, you don't mind?
Well, I mean, we can establish that it'll be the second Thursday of every month.
So February 13th,
February 13th.
Will be the next one?
Will be the next one.
all right.
Anybody have any problem with that one?
The
Let's
next
put a
one?
vote, or we can put a vote to that then. Anybody have any problems with that? All those in favor of setting the monthly meetings on the second Thursday of every month? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. The staff report from and the maintenance of, staff report, maintenance of the clubhouse. Who will speak to that?
Dennis, you can go start, and I'll go over a couple of things as far as the to do the clubhouse
Well,
maintenance.
as Ruth has our punch-out list, I mean, I think we've addressed everything so far. Everything is, I guess, getting situated. I know the elevator gentleman came out yesterday. There's the tile, I spoke with, I forget the gentleman's name from the city, the real skinny guy.
Gallo.
They came and looked at where the tile is broken. They realized that it's where the parking, I guess the parking pavement starts and the clubhouse ends. So they're gonna try and devise some sort of, maybe a mosaic little piece there where it's already kind of, so it doesn't break so much. They were gonna talk about it and decide what they were gonna do there. Doors have been addressed. You spoke about it, they should be coming in, new doors. They're worn after 8 years, the way you open and
Yeah,
close and all
the
that.
ceiling, the
We
ceiling.
went to Hana yesterday about what?
How much was that?
The door comes out to, the doors is the repair of the kitchen door,
Mhm.
and we have the outside door where the restaurant is located, between materials and everything, $1,633.15.
Okay. Yeah, so everything I think has been addressed in the punch list. Now it's just a matter of, it following through, which we're just
Well,
waiting for parts.
the initial, as I remember correctly, we were gonna go through an initial list of items that require repair.
Mhm.
And do you know what's the total amount for those things? I mean, not the total items that need to be repaired, do you have that? At
Yes.
least so that the committee can understand where we stand.
Yes, the total items we're gonna change all the lighting in the parking that are not working. So that's a total 45 lights that we're gonna repair on that. We
Mhm.
already got the quotation on that one.
What's the price on it?
The lights for outside, we have the wiring plus the 45, it's 45. It's 45 lights outside that we have to replace in the parking lot.
Do we have a total
Our
price?
guys are gonna replace it, our Parks and Recs guy. So the price in total we have is,
The labor we're doing it, so the cost of. we're
it's
trying
gonna
to-
be the city,
Get
the
this
labor alone.
on the outside, so we're helping,
So y'all are interacting together. You're
Yeah.
using your labor
right,
and your budget to buy
Correct.
material.
right, and that way it doesn't affect his operational cost that, just taking the hit, so we're
Okay.
working together so he can, get back in the swing of things.
Who's responsible for the road leading from the Mines Road to the clubhouse?
The city.
The city
The
is.
city, and actually.
Getting real funky.
Okay, so actually I was gonna bring, Dan McGee might show up here, look, he's a traffic director. And he wanted to show up, so if we have any concerns, he wants to, that you out, we can tell him. But if we could put that in the agenda for next week and for next month, so that we can address that.
Text out Dan McGee is not with you guys?
Yeah.
Oh,
Came over
okay.
now.
Okay.
He's now the director of
The road's
traffic.
supposed to be platted.
Well, there's no curbs to it either, so it's just gonna continue to, there's.
Well, no, that was back in 2012 when originally they were gonna open the golf course.
It was gonna stand at Caliche and then they
Well,
decided to
you
do
know,
that,
they
right?
did what we need to do just to get the amount
Oh,
of
yeah,
traffic
no,
that
no,
was
it's-
happening, that was being projected at that time. But the original thought behind that the right of way was either gonna be an easement from the Mandel family, or it was gonna be deeded over. And a number of months after the development agreement was signed, there was the gift deed was negotiated and executed, and the property, the road from the Mines Road to the cattle guard was deeded over, and it's city property, it's always been city property.
So I have the total cost of repairs that are being done to the max, $11,975.12. That's the total that we're working on. And most of the labor is gonna be parks, our employees gonna work. The only thing that, our city cannot handle is the kitchen grill. We're having a problem with the stove. So that, our guys cannot work on it. And the beer cooler that was just replaced for a wedding 2 weeks ago, last minute. So that had to be called out for last minute.
Who handles that?
The elevator?
And I know we discussed that earlier. Any mechanical items are handled by the city? Because we have the ice makers, the freezers, you still have to have the air curtains that are in there. All of that stuff, is it supposed to be handled by you or by the city?
I think that's what they're gonna be doing for the most part. Yeah, there's some items like she said, the grill and all that, where it's,
Normally, we can handle it, we handle it, but if we have to
But you have,
outsource it.
not through PART, you usually handle it through your maintenance and service department, through your operations department. And I think that was a mix-up in the past couple of years where we couldn't get, AC or the drainage or any of that kind of stuff, all the mechanical items that were in there. And he at one point had to go and outsource it because of I think that there was that communication. So I think what we need to do is establish that I don't know if he sends in a work order, that I don't know if it gets through you first and then you decide whether you can do it or not, and then figure out whether another department can do it around the city, right?
Right, that's the way it works.
So,
Pretty much so, like, if we can't do it, then we have, for example, Public Works, or we go to operations, maintenance, or something like that.
right. And so in trying to figure those things so that we can have it on a timely manner, we need to figure out that it doesn't have a, that we set ETAs on this type of stuff, because when it bounces from city department to city department, you're talking about weeks.
Agree.
And I think a couple of years ago, remember, you had to buy ice for almost a year. So, and understanding the way those things work, let's see if we can figure out immediately where, Ruth, maybe you can call them up and say, we can't handle it, but I've already submitted it to another department. But I think it'd be better if you follow it through, and walk it through to see if we can get that, a faster response on that.
May I give you a little background on this thing?
Sure.
In your budget, Dennis, you don't have a line item for building maintenance, do you?
We do now, but it's very minimal. It's not,
See,
yeah.
you go back, that's exactly the kind of problems we were having even at the outset of the golf course operation. And the deal was that the city never set up any type of operating fund or accounting system to handle this kind of item. So therefore, any type of building maintenance, remember the problem with that to treat the water for the batteries, that we couldn't do that, and you had to go back to buy distilled water for I don't know how many, because it was not in your budget, and then the city never got into it. So, I was hoping that since they started that the city had addressed those kind of things, because those are the kind of items that were being discussed with Horacio de Leon. Of course, he's no longer there. So, but that's a very key point.
I think
because these guys can't go out with it because their guys are not going to let them do the work with it because it's not in their budget.
Yeah, it is. And I think Gary brought that up a couple of months ago, or when we first started this thing. And this is how this committee got started.
Right.
Because and I think we were discussing back in October, September, August, that I wanted to see if, in fact, and I think Robert told, if I'm not mistaken, that they said they were going to add more money to your budget for just that, so that it can go, because eventually what's happening right now, it's being managed by Parks and Recs.
Right.
And so one of the biggest concerns that I had when speaking to Robert is do not let Parks absorb this because you were going in the budget process
Right.
without you getting some monies to offset the cost for that.
Correct.
So that he doesn't have to become.
So, and adding that, when we came on board, the budget was already into this coming up budget. God willing, next fiscal year, I do already have a line item that's gonna go, particularly just
A line item or a department?
a department that's gonna be still on the parks, but for operations of the max. And that's so right now, what we're trying to do, now that also I'm sitting here in this position as well, is that anything that we can do, which we never had that, I don't think we never had that, it was maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But they call Ruthie, we follow the coach, we need this, and we send our guys, anything, now there's some big things, entonces, we gotta outsource it or do it, but I think now we got.
Specialized, right?
Yeah, something specialization, but I think we've been doing a good job of now helping them cut the cost on a lot of things.
Yeah, and the whole idea, I guess, again, from this committee's point of view, is to make sure that it doesn't also steal from you.
Oh, yeah.
But we need to have it in an organized manner so that it can be credible to everybody, that it doesn't take away from you, that you have to cut somewhere else to try and help the max, so.
Right. So God willing, for next fiscal year, there is gonna be some money there for the max, from our department.
Has the operating contract between the city and this guy, has it been made available to you guys in the committee?
Yeah, we saw it at the beginning of the year, and we saw that. I mean.
Is it the same contract where they have to meet certain operating thresholds for their contract to be renewed?
That one, no, and because remember, I think that we brought it up, and that was, I guess, a replica of how the county was running, and we didn't want to do that. What we wanted to do is absorb it.
The county's problem was, te lo digo porque I've worked on both sides.
Yeah.
The county's problem was that they were running the golf course as an enterprise fund. What that means is, in governmental accounting, it means you run it like a business.
Right.
So basically what they had done, they had accumulated about a $2 million deficit in their equity position, because they basically were carrying the losses. Tijerina and the other guys come in, and the other court would start doing this, paying it down every year, which it should be. The city does the same. The city has never done that. They always pay the deficit. In the initial contract years with those guys, Foresight, they were running a $700,000 to $800,000 deficit per year.
Right.
So, but your point, like one of my favorite subjects is the hog fence. And you guys do not have the people to maintain the hog fence. And if that damn hog fence goes down, especially down there by the Vega, you're gonna have some problems.
Oh, yeah.
And I always had told your guys, your superintendents, Mark, you gotta ask this guys for help to maintain that hog fence.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we just got some good news from the Border Patrol.
Yeah, so I'll let you finish, and then I'm gonna throw some good
That's
stuff.
fine,
coming at you.
just so long, but so long as we're clear that, if, and Mr. Heim brought a good point, that we need to make sure that's, I mean, totally addressed, so that it can be clear as to who has the responsibility to do things, because if we don't, at every level, because if we don't, it becomes an issue of when it becomes an emergency type situation, I mean, it's gonna be like that. It was his deal or my deal or not my deal. And so
And
one of the first things.
unfairly, the guys that catch all the grief is this guy.
Yeah, and then, I mean, again, that's one of the reasons that this committee was formed, is because we needed to make sure that there was an oversight and there was a better line of communication and the liaison in between and getting it done. So, just so long as you guys are clear as to who,
Yeah, no,
what belongs to where.
it's.
And especially with that list, because, that list that Ruth has is an old system of what way of doing things, and that might not be the best way to do it. But we had told her to give us a list of things. I mean, the worst case scenario, everything that is needed there, and then we can work backwards, sort of like a checklist, right? And so this is where we're at. This is the first time that list comes about. It doesn't necessarily stop today. It can be at every level, because we still have to address the actual golf course, the greens, the bunkers, all that kind of stuff that goes along with it. But for today, we wanted the clubhouse and everything that goes, that's involved in that, which is a parking lot, and everything that goes along with that. So I think if you all have that situated and you're in agreement with it, I can submit it to JJ so that we can go ahead and move forward with it.
And like, again, we go above and beyond to make sure we solve this problem. Any problem, hey, jump on it. Let's get on it. Vamos.
I talk to Coach more than my wife.
That's about right. That's about right. So no, now there's some things that hopefully, good thing is we can get with new administration coming in and ya le ponemos más. Now with this committee, hey, we need to put a budget for the max. So that's for
Good.
sure. Because we'll be more than glad to help, but we'll have it under our budget separate just for the max. So that's I'm going to be pushing for that already. Well, I've already talked about that.
Basically,
with
your template is how you set it up for a rec center.
Yeah. Exactly. Right.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
One thing that's not in this, we only have the maintenance of the clubhouse, and from here we go to adjournment. I'm not sure why we didn't come up with this, follow-up on the sand for the bunkers and all that kind of stuff.
I have that information here.
Oh, you want to start with that? Okay, go ahead.
So we're working clubhouse, and then we'll go to the course. But anything else on the clubhouse that you have that we want to address before we get out to the course?
No, it might be a good idea that if you can get a copy or a list of things, something that maybe Ruth and Dennis didn't see, okay, give it out to the committee, and that way we can figure out, what else is, we might have in them.
And I'm the new guy here, and don't think I'm just trying.
No, this is an
trying to
absolute
impress
democracy.
anybody.
Go ahead.
But obviously, when you have a shortage of funds, what you do, you prioritize your problems.
Mhm.
So what you come up with is like when you do capital budgeting.
Mhm.
You got all the things you want to do. Well, Tomas Rodriguez, one time when we used to go to New York for doing water and sewer bonds. He had a list from here to the moon, and that scares some people. The financial advisor tell him, hey, give me something that's practical.
Yeah.
So the deal is, you gotta set up, what they can do is recommend a priority as to what's critical in terms of the operations of the clubhouse.
Mhm.
And then they give you recommendations, comes to the committee, and then you all approve it. Because
Yeah.
obviously, the restrooms being clean was one, the kitchen being clean, that's two, and the air conditioner not working, well, that's another problem.
Right.
And so anyway, that's just
No, and I'm glad you're mentioning that, because it just proves that we've been, you know, the reason for the list of items, because this committee just was formed.
And the reason I got a little background here is since October 2012 to March of last year, I was out there 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Every week. So I kind of know the course, I
Yeah.
know the operation.
Yeah, and so like I said, because we did that, we, and it's never been done before, the listing of, and then we're not gonna submit that to them, but it was so that we can prioritize everything that we need to fix first. And then we figure, I know the list is gonna be huge right now, but we can see some, you know, before the cracks are this big, before the cracks get this big, it's
Right.
already on the list. And then the prioritization is from, depending on how badly it's needed right now.
Right.
And hopefully we can maintain it so that it can just be part of the process every month.
Right.
Telling people-
And I think the main thing is, I want to bring this to our department as well, we want to be proactive instead of reactive, and not wait till we get the phone call. You know, I schedule our Ruthie or somebody to go over there, make a walkthrough, what's going on, can you put it in the list so that we can fix it now and not wait till we get those phone calls and, hey, faltó esto, and, you know, it's easier to maintain and to fix, and you know, that's one of the mindset that I want to bring to our department as well. So yeah, I think it helps that, you know, we got night now, the backing from management, you know, the city manager's office, and they're always on us, hey, make sure, you know, make sure it gets done right, and make sure with the committee, and so there's now better communication, Mr. Heinen, there's better now, more accountability of what's going on, and we want to make that course, you know, the best it can be, so believe me.
But I tell you what, it's a hell of a course.
Yes, sir, you know, that's ready, it's gonna get better, so let's get it, so. Anything else with the clubhouse, any other concerns? We'll get you a list, Mr. Chair, and we'll give you a list of everything that Ruthie, if you can give us a list of the breakdowns of everything that we've done. Look at what's we're still missing, all right? And then we have a cost, and then prioritize what needs to get fixed inside the clubhouse area. And I know,
Okay.
you know, you can do the walkthrough that we
Yeah.
normally do and send our guys out there, but.
Good,
So
good.
we'll always we have now that good communication, Mr. Chair. that
I mean,
that we do that.
and as we mentioned before, and most of us are also there, you know, twice a week. And now that people found out that this committee exists, we sort of become targets.
Yes, we do.
And they start pointing at things and all that.
No, yeah.
But it's a good thing. I'm glad that they're there, because I told them, this is not gonna be a committee, this is gonna be a working committee. And they're gonna see the results of the fruits of our labor
Right.
because of that. But I, you know, everybody with a smile on my face, I tell them I welcome anything that you have to say for right now. But what I've noticed is that even though we've been here for a short period of time, a lot of things have been addressed in here. And I'm proud of that, because everybody's thinking out there now that it exists. Everybody wants to have the upkeep, and they want to keep that at a high level. So I'm very happy with that.
Yes, sir. So, okay, so I guess I'll go move on to some good news. So we start with, we talked about the bunker. So Tom Horseman, our superintendent up there, sent us a quote. We're looking at some white sand. As you see, there's a couple of holes. I think number 17's got it right now.
17.9.
And number 9.
Yeah.
And he gave us a quote of 780 tons of sand needed to redo all the sand traps. Is that correct, right?
I think it's a green side book.
The green side bunkers, okay, the green side bunkers. So, in doing that, if we get 780, the cost of 780, just the materials, is about $12,600.
Yeah, you have it right here.
You have it right here in front of you.
Yeah.
As you can see in front of you, it's, the material itself is 25 tons is 405. So we multiplied that for a ton, that is $16 a ton, and we wanted 780. I did the math for you already. It's $12,675 of puro sand. Okay, just the puro sand. For the freight, the freight to carry those is $22,674 to bring that sand down here.
Is it better to put it in un vagon?
So I'm working with city managers. We're working with city managers that possibly we can get some of our dump trucks and go pick it up, run it over to San Antonio.
There's also a
and go
cost
pick it
for
up
that,
ourselves.
though. I mean, if it's
Yeah,
gonna
yes.
be, I'm not sure, and you might want to look into rail instead of, I don't know how it works, so I'm just throwing that out there.
Like in the railroad, in the road. Never thought about it.
You have a situation there where, when the course was being designed and they look at the budget, the sand traps were not built correctly. Well, in the sense they were built correctly according to design, but you don't have French drains. So therefore, anytime somebody, either it was a budget problem or somebody opined that, hey, we really don't have that many rains but down here, but when it does rain, you know, it washes everything out.
Right.
And I've been out there after a 4-inch rain, and you have stuff all over the place. You're gonna have a recurrent, and this is from, and again, you guys are, estos son los pecados de otros. But you're gonna have a recurring problem there because those sand traps are not built correctly. If you would have seen what they did to the sand traps and the greens at the country club, and of course you're talking about a $500,000 budget. But that's the only way you're gonna have a situation, you know, so this is a deal that has to be considered at the council level. If you're gonna have a network of sand traps that works, which really, and somebody was making a comment regarding how Trent Jones designs golf courses, whether you're here in Florida, on the West Coast, or you're somewhere in Russia. Their sand traps is a very unique design thing that they do for the golf course. The only way you're gonna fix it is you're gonna have to go in there and redo all those sand traps where you don't have the kind of drainage problem that can't work. You have a good raining and it washes everything out.
I don't think all the traps are in dire straits. Some are, and those need to be addressed right now
Well, yeah.
before the Border Olympics comes.
No, entiendo. I understand that, but this is already the second or third time this has happened in terms of replenishing the sand, I can tell you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and
No,
so,
but-
a little bit of background on that.
You're gonna have the Board of Electrical at the high school?
No, we want the college.
Oh,
Well, that's right,
We're
because
gonna get to college.
the the other
Country
golf
club.
course is not gonna be ready. Well, then you gotta do it. I mean.
So we have, no, but that's another issue that we have to address here today because and I was having this conversation with Dennis last week. They need to get on the ball over there at the country club and let us know immediately if we're gonna do it or not, because it's gonna rise up. And I told them, I kinda know the way some of those people work, and they're gonna leave it at the last second. They're gonna give you the ball, and then you're not ready for it.
Yeah, I hate
And
that.
so the traps were one issue. We still have to accommodate everybody that's coming and how we're gonna work all those type of things out. Now, kinda wanna move forward and get all that ready, whether we get it or not. Because at the last second, they might say, siempre no, or whatever. But I just wanted to be 100% ready.
You mean those guys, Mike and Jeremiah and those guys, are not gonna work with this guys and help them out?
No, it's not that. I think, who needs to pull the trigger?
Yeah.
Pancho? Pancho needs to pull the
Well,
trigger.
you see, okay. Now, you see, you're talking, see, that's the deal. I mean, the mistress, I mean, the head lady of the cat house is a golf committee.
Yeah.
You know,
So that's what I was telling him. So we need
it's not
to.
Jeremiah or Mike.
No.
Mike and those guys are for it,
No,
and
he
Dave
told
and
me-
Dave and all those are doing it,
Yeah.
but they're pointing in another direction.
No,
I said,
I know.
we have to move on it, and we have to either address that committee, or we need to pick up the phone and say, are we in, or what we're gonna do? Because we have less than 2 months to get this thing ready and all.
No, you gotta do it. No, Averill told me unequivocally,
Yeah,
as long as I'm alive, Board of Olympics, college will never go to the banks.
yeah.
We'll tell him.
Well, that
Yeah.
can be fixed
I hope we
too.
live with it.
Well, I mean, again, so, and then let's give you, because on the last 6 months, we've been talking about exactly what you said about those traps. We don't want to make an investment that's just gonna be all for nothing. So what we did is, if you notice the traps on number 9, they kind of experimented on those and they put that liner on there. And so we got a
Yeah.
quote on that, and it survived it perfectly.
Well, what it broke down to is they put a liner on 9 and then they didn't put a liner on 17. What it is Tom went back and redid all the sprinkler system turned it off completely for a little bit and redid everything. What was happening is, unlike any other golf course, we have not only green sprinklers, we have colored sprinklers. So the bunkers were getting hit twice a day at night, all night. So they just got contaminated. A lot of it was because of that. So when he redid the ones on 17, we had that 19 inches of rain 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it survived perfectly. So they went ahead and said, well, you know what? We got a call from somebody that was offering liners. So we said, well, we'll take it, thanks, and we'll experiment with it. So from that day on, everything's been the same, except one's without a liner, one's without a liner. One's with a liner. The only difference is that Tom went and redid all the
Well,
sprinkler
but
system.
we identified the ones that need the liner and don't need it. We need to figure out which will work with which is bad, which needs it and
Yeah.
which doesn't.
So the whole process was that the one that did the without the liner is worked just as well as the one with the liner.
You-
And if you go and you do a price comparison or whatever, well, it's gonna be a lot cheaper, obviously, without the liner. But let's say, like Mr. Conta says, it will probably happen again, but it's a lifespan of maybe 10 years. So the idea would be that, yeah, every year you're allocating maybe $3,000 for bunker
So,
upkeep.
just for I don't know if they told you, was trying, we had asked Jay to approach city council on allocating an amount of money so that we can get that done. So they approved 40,000, I think, for the bunkers use.
Well, we at that time, we found some money, and the financier, well, the lady from finance kind of, there is some money there from the
Capital contribution.
capital contribution that we're gonna tap into.
Is that
Okay.
the dollar around?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's a
So-
12-year
and I'll let her
buildup,
talk
and we didn't
about
know,
that.
I mean, we wanted to bring it out to say, what's us? I mean,
Right.
what Caesar's is Caesar's, so I wanted to make sure that we use it for whatever we need over there, so that we can become also an independent, whatever monies we make there, I want to
Right.
continue to reinvest it in there.
Right.
So the point being is that, if the cost is that, and you're still trying to figure out how to bring it from Santo into Laredo, let's get on it and figure it out. The
Oh, yeah.
alternative ways, the cost of getting it by a private company, the cost of having our people go over there and pick it up, the cost of rail, I don't know what other way it can be done,
I mean, this on my personal side here at when I was running Unit Trade, we had to bring in some special dirt out of San Antonio, and we did it both ways. We did it where it was they brought it, and then we sent, and it was cheaper for us to go get it.
Yeah.
So we just have to coordinate because we need. Now Tom doesn't want the whole 780 tons at the same time. He wants certain because of storage. We're gonna have to bring. Let's say we're gonna work on the front line first. Work on those. I'm gonna help also with our employees. My guys are gonna go help him so that we can move this faster. Because
Yeah.
he's only got 4 guys over there. Getting like 4 or
Well,
5
we had
guys.
9, but yeah.
9. and then
So
we'll
let's say,
approve ours.
let's say we have about 50 days between now and then maybe less.
For the collegiate Olympics,
Yeah.
Olympics end of February.
February 25th, 26th. okay.
So less than that. See, so we need to figure out on where we're in the next 2 or 3 weeks. That's going to be crucial. What we need to do to bring the rest of the course up to par. I kind of don't want to. This is where in my conversations with Dennis, I want the city to shine here. And this is going to be something where we're not going to have paper results up on the windows and then which is, while that might work for our regular tournaments that are there, I think we need to step up our game and showcase it because we're getting a lot of people from out of town.
Right, so just
That-
yesterday on an email, did you see your email? I sent an email to city managers that we're bringing, God willing, big tournament now for Board Olympics, and we might get collegiate. It's a time to shine for the city, to showcase our from all over the nation, teams that we can get from all over the nation and put the map on the max more, so I got a response back from one of the city managers, hey, that's great, let's move on it, let's get it done. Let's make it work, so.
But I think that's
this
an
is more-
excellent point. This is not a max deal. This is a seal.
Yeah, it's really we shine with that because TAMU still has their tournament also. And you're getting a lot of outside people coming in from the outside. And, we're inviting everybody to come in and see it. As beautiful as it is right now, we all know that it needs something else. It needs that extra oomph in there.
The wow factor.
Yeah, it has to have it. It has to have it. There's no, and God bless Pancho, I love him to death, but, if it becomes an issue, if it becomes an issue that, one day there and one day here, next year, it's.
Can we address how many traps we need to take care of right now?
Yeah, there's 22 greenside bunkers throughout the
That's, I
golf
think,
course.
really, let's get down to the point.
Yeah, there's
The rest
22
of it's,
That, those were
superfluous.
greenside bunkers.
How many?
Throughout the course.
22.
22.
Okay.
Which are the
And so
most-
you
It's
prioritize,
all of them except 9 because 9 was redone, and 1 he already did it with some sand that he had done over from last season.
cool.
And so really, it's just the other, which
So
is.
how many tons is that?
I think that's the 780 tons that he's requires. Yeah.
So, I mean, he needs the whole hold 78 tons like now.
Yeah, and he would do it in stages, like you said, so he could store. So we send the trucks for 2 days straight, boom, 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 bring enough. You know, some
Where's the
bunkers.
sand come from? San Antonio?
San Antonio.
That's the only thing that separates the Max from top shelf golf courses,
Yes.
in my humble opinion.
Exactly.
I agree.
Fix it.
Mhm.
That's all there is to
I
it.
agree.
Get it fixed. The rest of it can go away.
Mhm.
I agree.
Okay,
So that, I mean, I'm sorry, that's where I want the bunkers. I agree, Mr. Chair, we gotta move on it now. Now that I sent that email and I got the response, you know, we need to put that in, we already got the line item, we spoke the budget, Mr. Gilbert Sanchez, where we're gonna put that money, where we're gonna get that, money out of, and I'll let finance talk about here about.
I'm sorry, and I'm sorry about that. Welcome, Finance Department. An hour later. Sorry about that. You are a go-to person now. Everybody's looking at you to,
Get you a
I'll let her, and then I'll finish with one more item that I need to go over,
Okay.
or you want me to finish? And-
no, let's go ahead and finish your,
Okay. So, speaking of the course, yesterday I got some good news. About a month ago, I went out there to go walk because one of the requests was the removal of carrizos. That we want the number 9 hole and number 15 hole.
15 and
15 and 9. The beauty of the Max was to see the river.
Right.
Right. So of course it was going to be, after talking to Híjole, it was going to be a lot of zeros behind it. So I came up with the idea, or somebody gave me the idea, hey, we'll talk to Border Patrol. Maybe they can help us with, maybe they can kind of come up with something. And so sure enough, I met with them about a month ago, Dennis, when we were out there. Happened to be good friends of mine, one of my next players. And yesterday we got the notice that Border Patrol is going to be doing the cleaning of the carrizo down there.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
And it's gonna look, that's all under them. They're gonna put a tower over
But
there.
the carrizo's down on the water.
Yeah, right, they're gonna do selective cleaning on the number 9 hole and number 15 hole like we talked about, so.
Cool.
So we just got the green light yesterday. I don't wanna tell you, hopefully we could do it before February so that hopefully, I did tell him, you know, I know, that's pelón y quieres chongo here, but we got a big tournament coming in February. Can we do it before, so.
You know, and
It's the federal government, so it's gonna take a while.
And that's the only thing.
Sorry, being realistic.
Can you work out a work release with prisoners or something down
As a matter
there?
of information,
That is above my pay grade, sir.
No time they said, oh, I thought you meant to put up the wall now.
all as a matter of information, all that Vega land is gonna be gifted to the city.
Yeah.
I mean, that's due to the city, so, you know, 35 acres.
Yeah.
How much?
35
Thank
acres.
you.
All the Vega land that's contiguous to the golf course along the river, all that is about 35 acres. And it's already being surveyed and everything. In fact, the real estate folks from CDA.
The back.
So, no, yeah, so we're gonna get that clean, hopefully we can move fast, but I know that, like, Mr. Romero says, it does, it's at their time now, so luckily it's gonna get done, but we're not gonna take the hit on it as far as the financial part of it, so. It's on.
Well, I mean, it's great news. I mean, it opens the door to us also that now that it's cleaned out, then we figure there. I mean, the biggest thing is to get it the first time, get all that stuff out there.
Right.
And then if we can do part of the maintenance as we move along, and then those guys come twice a year, and we do it
Yeah,
once a
they-
year.
yeah.
We can go ahead and.
What they put in the schedule, I think they do it 3 times a year.
Yeah,
No,
sí.
no deja que crezca.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good,
So
good,
we're
good.
gonna get back out river again, so that's, we're excited about that, so that was a good news yesterday.
Good. I mean, let me just go to a point of reference over here, though, is that now, and I don't want to get off the subject because it's very important that we really have to, now that we're done with the bunkers and with this other stuff, now we have to address the actual fairways and greens now.
Oh, yes.
You know, we're having, I know some of the number 1 and some of the other ones are
Number 1
getting
and
that.
2.
The Poana, yeah.
Yeah.
It's due to the cold weather. The
Okay.
Bermuda goes dormant and the Poana takes over. So he's already sprayed it, I think yesterday and the day before, he started spraying the ones that are having the Poana.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just a matter of, it's the climate. So the
Right.
Bermuda's not growing, so this thing takes over, but it's being sprayed.
Okay.
We had a public
Nature
citizen
will
here,
take care
he
of
came
it.
to address that issue.
Pre-emergence.
Yeah.
Yeah, they spray the Poana, then pre-emergence on top of that, vámonos.
Yeah.
And then the sun.
Now-
A little water, yeah.
The mower, we brought up the mower, we already got.
Equipment?
Yeah.
Equipment wise, we're doing the paperwork, getting the signatures.
The paperwork's already in.
So you want to explain what that mower is?
Well, yeah, that's the rough mower. For some reason, we still have a mower that was from the growing, so it's running on one cylinder and
Right.
very, so we got the A-OK and everything to go ahead and order the new one we have, and the paperwork just came in. I sent it to you and Ruth.
Yeah, we're gonna go
So it's
get-
just a matter of
need to get it
signatures.
signed.
So it'll be perfect, because let's say we get it in 3 to 4 weeks. The roof right now isn't growing anyway.
Right.
But that means it's gonna come in perfect right on time so that we can, really, really, really make it look sharp.
Okay.
So we got the mower approved as well, so that we can get the signature.
All equipment is city equipment, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any other questions on this issue? I'll have one more, and hopefully keep us abreast of anything that goes on. And like I said, this is our moment to shine. It's very important, because this is gonna, and everything any investment that the city does in there that can be there permanently to satisfy whatever the Border Olympics
Sure.
people need is gonna be better for us, because we don't have to invest on.
No,
on
and
that.
another thing I told this to Dennis, so hopefully that maybe I can, being that it's a Laredo thing, like you said, get CBB involved, get some of their money as
That's
well.
always one of the biggest things, to
Right.
get finance, CBP, and you guys, but there's monies out there because there's gonna be a tourist
Yeah,
attraction.
heads and beds.
Yeah, so, it's something that, maybe we can add for the birders there later on.
Mhm.
So, we just need to keep it at the forefront, so just keep us in tune, Ruth, when emailing us with however this thing moves. You just, keep us on the
Keep
loop.
everybody
So
posted.
that by the time the 13th comes around for February, the next meeting, that everybody's kind of already has some sort of information on it, that we don't have to start from scratch.
So, yeah, just an update of everything that we've talked about, which we can send them out to everybody.
Well, just an update real quick on Border Olympics. I got the call yesterday that it was gonna happen at the Max.
Okay.
Today there was a little pullback because they're gonna call in a expert to go look at the grass just to confirm that it can't be done at the country club, which I've talked to all members of the club that come by to the Max say there's no way.
Yeah,
So, but we'll get the official statement hopefully by tomorrow
Good.
morning.
Super.
Good,
That's
good.
great.
Speaking,
Yeah.
speaking
Yeah,
of
we've been
that-
working with them.
No, go ahead.
No, just, we've been working hand in hand with Mike and, communication back and forth. Like I told him, I have no problem you coming in and run. They've been doing it for 20 years. Showcase
Good,
the Max
good.
and they can come and,
Good.
make sure that their direction that they've always used is going in the same direction. And there's
Good.
no ego on our side. Feel free to do whatever you guys need to do.
From the carts to the pulling people from the parking lot and
Mhm.
getting the parents and everybody involved and pushing them back and forth and making sure that it is a vibrant, happy area to go in there and see good golf, because it really, I played with those guys and it's just an amazing feeling when you get together with somebody that plays at that level.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you play with Bruno all the time?
Yeah, no, talking about. But, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead,
Well, I
William.
was just gonna say, as far as, with this event coming, we want the little things to also shine as well.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I noticed was at the range is the range balls are
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah. I mean-
are we gonna be replenishing those things?
We
at
have
all?
new range balls, but we see it happen every day. High schools, they
Oh.
come out and, hey, they're brand new shiny balls, right? So yeah, and then you'll see them at the course on every hole, and you're like,
They do.
And so we have to
Yeah.
kind of give and take.
Okay.
So we've got Jack Brown coming, so we're gonna pull all our older balls and put in the new balls, and then
Okay.
pick those up and then save them for the collegiate Border Olympics.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
just, we gotta get a little smarter.
I don't know what's
sometimes.
going on behind the scenes, I just wanted to know,
Yeah.
like, something's going on, right on, fantastic.
Yeah, as soon as we-
Along the same lines, I think, that I've noticed quite a bit, is that on Sunday that you're not there, there's lots of like beer cans
Okay.
and plastic bottles and stuff like that. I was wondering, what's the job description of the guys that at the cart
Yeah,
bar?
it's here, and I mean, it falls under them, not all
Is
of it, but
is
if
it their
they drive by any trash, and that goes for all of us, myself, yeah, but if you drive by a piece of trash, you're
I
supposed to
pick
stop
it
and pick it up, I understand.
Yeah.
So we've addressed it, I just had a meeting with them yesterday, or no, Tuesday evening, took them to get some pizza,
Okay, and not to beat a dead horse, but what if somebody continues to not do their
Yeah.
work as in not picking up the trash, is it you write them up?
Well,
Or
originally.
you say, see you later?
No, well,
Or-
yeah, of course you get the first write-up, and then you get
Okay.
you release them. We tend to just not give hours. Our
Okay, and-
unfortunate.
And when you're not there,
Hmm?
then who's in charge?
Well, they have a person that's in charge of the card
Who
board,
is
who is
that?
Jonathan. It's a younger guy. He's about 21 years old. He's an engineering student here at TAMU.
Okay.
Really responsible, but he wasn't there that Sunday either.
Okay.
He had some stuff he had to do for school or something like that. But it's everybody's. I think we have the maintenance team that does most of it on a daily basis. they're on a skeleton crew Saturday and Sunday, so that guy doesn't come in first thing in the morning and drive the little area like he does Monday through Friday. So we've already made it to be a main issue. Make sure you're always looking, pick up trash.
One of the, and I think most of it, and I see a lot of the membership, I guess, I call it the membership, because now, I mean, yeah, I can understand, see, you go on Sundays then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there on Saturdays, and anybody who goes there on Saturdays will always hear me complaining about, and telling people right there on the course, you know. I use up about 6 bottles of sand every time I go. I go out there, and that's part of my workout. I use it as part of my workout. I'm going out there filling in everything that I can, and you wouldn't believe it takes an effect. People start doing, you turn around, people
Well,
start
that's the whole
thinking.
thing. If people see your guys out there picking up trash, well, it kind of like it sets the mood,
Yeah.
you know? Other people tend to.
I mean, so everybody
up on
that I play
Just
with
like
start
what he's
picking up trash as we go along. They're not gonna miss any. The carts are moving, they fly out from the back.
Yeah.
Well, but if you see it going, but yeah, I agree with him that
Yeah.
if see something, pick it up, and if they don't, you know.
Yeah,
it's
we're
something
gonna
we-
make it fun for them. Everybody's gonna get a trash bag.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, whoever has the most trash bag, maybe I get them a Max Burger or something, you know?
Yeah.
I'm afraid they're gonna go to the trash can and fill it from the trash bag. You know, just something so that they can get a little bit of have it fun.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes, you know, that's the problem with nowadays with the technology. It's so good that we also use it. We have a WhatsApp app and everybody's always constantly communicating. Hey, there's a delivery, battery number 7's low for some reason.
Yeah.
Go change them out the card and all that. So there's a lot of little distractions going on
They're
at the same
pretty
time.
good at it. If there's a car down, they'll call and the guys will be there.
It's a lot of work.
Or
Do,
you want beer or taco, algo, they'll come right
Well,
away and they'll
fabulous.
take it.
But
Go
they've been doing very well, and the
Yeah.
carts have been keeping up very well. Like I had the opportunity to play here at Casablanca, and their carts, they just got them in June or July, before that. And because the terrain is so badly over there, it's not the players. The terrain is so bad, they are not doing very well. They're gonna have to be replaced before that. These right here, I can see that the upkeep has been okay with the amount of movement that they've had. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that Mr. Jacobs was talking about at the beginning, that he was very concerned about the golf carts, and we all agreed that we need to stay on top of all of that.
you
So-
have a system of rotation for the parts, right?
That's the beauty of these new golf carts. They tell you when, hey, this one's are being used too much, so that the guys can pull it up and say, okay, let's pull out
You
roll
gotta
number.
rotate them so you know,
Yeah,
you can.
it tells you when it needs
So you can
water.
maintain-
Before it was kind of like, okay, but to check on, you have to open one up and check it. Well, this one's good, but are you gonna check all 74? Well, this thing's just always constantly communicating with you.
And the virtual fences have helped because they don't get to go into the areas where they can mismanage them also.
Mhm.
So I think everybody's in tune with that.
Yeah.
And beverage cart is it working?
It was, right now, they're changing out a belt. They're gonna send somebody, for some reason, the belt, and it's brand new, but it just
Yeah.
gave out. It's like a timing chain, but they use a belt now, so somehow,
Yeah, because we were this past weekend.
yeah, we've been using the golf carts.
I'll work cheap, man, just a 12 Budweiser and be fine.
Hey, we'll see, I'll give you a ride right now.
I was wondering how many people we got on the golf course on weekends. How many are your guys?
Employees. It depends on the Sunday. If Byron calls us and tells us that we'll be there, it'll be a Bev cart attendant, but usually Bev cart attendant Saturday and
Yeah.
Sunday. The pro shop manager at the time, like either Oscar
Yeah.
or somebody, and then another assistant or another pro shop guy in there.
Yeah.
And then downstairs we'll have 2 guys in the morning and 1 guy in the afternoon. And it just depends if we know. Problem is we don't make tea times in Laredo, so we're always kind of
Right.
Yeah, so we're always, but usually like Saturdays we'll go 2 and 2, morning and afternoon,
Right.
and then we'll do 2 and 1 in the evening.
Wow.
You know. Yeah, but we're gonna make the trash we're gonna make it fun for the guys and make it a priority. Yeah.
Picking up trash is not fun.
No, yeah,
Come on.
but when you get a
It's
Max
just
Burger
not
or
fun.
something, you know.
You can incentivize it.
Yeah, incentivize
You can
it.
incentivize it.
Yeah, college
I
kids-
believe in a hammer.
Theoretically.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's,
And you know, that's
Do
the
it, this is
unfortunate,
part of
we're
your
so
job.
far out that, you know, we always have to, our employees, we really have to thank them for driving all the way out there, because it's very rare to find a college student that has a car that can go back and forth to those.
well, how much do they get paid?
Well, its starting pay is $8.50, which is better than your $7.25, but a lot of that is taken into consideration because of the gas that they have to.
I think.
And it's a 40-hour week? No, it's not 40 hours.
No, we rarely have any 40-hour guys, just
Yeah.
because You know, you're not gonna find a 25-year-old that wants to work at the card barn. It's usually gonna be your 18 to 22-year-old.
Yeah.
And the good ones, well, we end up moving them upstairs when we lose someone like Bob.
You
that
know,
we
you know
lost.
what, Dennis, and I would encourage everybody to do that because I know that, and because you should know that, you know, I guess I'm old school, I'm older than, well,
I don't think so.
well, I'm 57 years old, but I do remember,
Pollito chico.
well, I do remember though that, you know, in working back in the day, it was customary that you see somebody working in that type of field. That was a Sacred Kroger's and all that kind of stuff. And I remember Vidal Trevino was the biggest tipper in the world, man. I used to always get that guy. He tips $5. So I managed to tip all those guys all the time because I know it's a pain in the butt. I know at $8.50, are you kidding me? To go over there every day, it's not. I mean, it's not even worth the gas to go over there. So I'd encourage that we put something. And don't forget to tip your people out there because I don't think they're gonna make it. I mean, without us going to $10 for minimum wage, which I think it should be, you know, then I think we gotta encourage everybody that's out there to don't forget, because some of them do put the bag, and when they see me now, they put my bag in there. I can put it myself,
Yeah.
but they know I'm gonna tip them.
So
You know?
Yeah, they know.
They know who
Yeah.
keeps tapes and who
Yeah.
don't.
That's the way to do it, but if 850 ain't cutting it, then pay him more money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coach.
Yeah, he's right.
I mean, yeah, well, no, let me put it to you this way.
He's gonna give my
If you-
budget next
let me
year.
put it to you this, UISD and all those people, if you work out at LBJ
Yeah, you
and
get a
and the Rio Robin and Cenizo, you get a stipend for gas.
For gas.
I mean, this is farther. This is 20 some odd miles, you know. And I'm getting, these are college students that are going in there. I'd like to see we can get to the point where they get compensated for at least that. If not, you're gonna get, maybe you can get quality people to go out there. Not that these guys are not quality, but if they see that there's something, an incentive for them to get out there, they're gonna do it. Especially, and then so we're gonna offset that for right now. Like I said, I see them working their butts off. And in the summer, over to the Huercos, you know, not that it's not even hot. The mosquitoes are eating them alive, you know. So it might be something we can, you know, I'd encourage everybody to see those guys and let them put the bag in the cart and just tip them something. But, you know, it's just.
Yeah, they get the guys that don't touch anything.
We've all been students before. We know how hard it is. You know, it's not like my price. You're a student, you're supposed to be poor, right? But.
And I have all the respect for the guys, because my son Daniel used to do that at the country club, and, you know.
Yeah, but.
And the more important ones for him, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, finance, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh,
For the capital replacement fund, the balance that we have right now is $103,036.
I'm sorry?
The
103.
balance that we have right now is
One from 99.
We put every month.
$103,036.
Good. Do you have it, or do we have anything that says exactly, are we bound to spend it in certain ways? I mean, just by definition.
Now, wait, so this, for every round, there's $1 that goes into this fund right here? Correct. Okay.
If you can get this committee a description of what, you know, the capital improvements that you can make with that, that way we can plan out.
Was that set up originally for the building or for the golf course? For the building, right?
Yes, for the improvements.
Right.
And I was gonna tell you, Mr. Gomez, I know Gilberto gave you a green for the improvements that you wanna do for the SAT, right? But this morning I spoke with Mr. Castillo,
Okay.
and he said that you need to go to city managers, address it up to them, and then go to council. And then, so therefore we can appropriate the money. I mean, the money you have it already, it's here.
Okay.
It's just that.
So I need to go put in the agenda to get it approved, even if it's under 50,000?
I was just thinking.
That's what
that
Mr.
I
Castillo
used
said.
to-
But I wasn't able to speak with
I was
Gilberto
reading
because he
Cat.
was in city managers.
50 cents a round.
Okay.
So all expenditures need to be approved by city manager or city council, rather?
Because this account is being used for a different purpose than it was initially intended. Is that the reason why it needs to be approved, or?
Conrado, I think before Foresight had the money and they could use it as they wanted because it wasn't through the city, and now.
Well, it was set up, originally the truck for the superintendent was bought out of that fund.
Yeah.
And that was not what was intended.
Well, I mean, so now that it's there, you know, we're gonna get, and so we have to identify, it's a very good point, that if it just belongs to the clubhouse, then that has to stay there, and we have to identify what needs to be done.
Are we sure about that? You set it up, we set it up when you started.
Well, no, Foresight, I wasn't there when Foresight was there, but usually Foresight would keep the money and have an account, and they could use it as they wanted because it wasn't inside they hadn't gone into the government bank account or whatever. And then when Foresight left, well, they gave the money back to the city, and Landscapes never went back and said, well, we handled it. Landscapes collects the money and puts it in the account, puts it in the account. So when it's being held by the city.
But if it's for building maintenance,
Gary once told me that it's for, like, let's say the pump would go down or something, anything like that.
but
needed-
not for golf course maintenance.
For what?
I mean,
And she
under the
said-
contract, it says for fixtures, furniture.
Good,
and-
okay. Yeah, I think you ought to go to some, I don't think you need to go to council.
No, I think you can, and remember
Of
when
course.
they told us that they found it, because that was the first meeting that we
We were
had.
concerned about
Where
that,
is
yeah.
it? Remember, where is it?
We weren't
And-
sure, yeah.
Yeah, where. we
7
didn't-
years back.
Yeah, so we said, where is it? And then the next part about it is how can we use it?
Now, in terms of using it, now, in terms of the procurement law, then you gotta go with the
Yeah.
purchase agent, you know that. But in terms of getting council, I don't think, but you need to check with the city.
Yeah, I need to, and the reason now you tell me is because we have our next city council on Tuesday. It posts tomorrow then? We have to have it by Friday or by Friday? And I'm leaving out of town right now. As soon as we're done here, we're heading to San Marcos. My daughter's having our child. But if that's the case, thanks. So if that's the case, then we need to move on it, so we have to put it in the agenda, because I like to put it on the agenda already for
We
Tuesday.
need to check with the city manager and check with, because that's based on the contract that you have with this guys.
What's the question? I can write it up. I mean, do it for you.
So by the way, Dan McGee from Traffic,
Hey,
he's
Dan.
Well, whether they-
avid golfer as well.
Where the expenditure requires council action, over 50,000. And-
Over 50,000?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think that, yeah, I don't.
It's because there's a fund, the capital fund has $103,000.
See, this is money
How
that
much are you gonna get out?
So
has been already funded.
So the question is, can the capital
I don't
fund
know. Well,
be
you gotta check.
used for the things that we would like to fix, correct? That would be for the bunkers?
yes.
Okay.
Now, wait a minute. Now, you,
And somebody meeting on the quarterback.
now, that you cannot use for the bunkers, I don't think.
And that's
That's
the
That's
point I'm
only
trying to
for
make.
fixtures.
If the account is used for a specific thing pursuant to the contract, to use it for something else that falls outside of those parameters, I think that's why you may have to go to city
No,
council.
That's a good point. If you're gonna do that, if it's so deemed appropriate by the committee to do that, then you gotta go to council.
Absolutely, and I think that's the general idea here, if I'm not mistaken.
But
So-
again, again, not.
So the first part, so let's do this. If I don't know what amount we're gonna need to be released, so that, we're talking about Ruth getting accessibility to whatever we need
Well,
to.
if we do pay freight and everything, it's 35,000.
No, that's totally separate and apart, because we're talking about those funds, the 103,000. We need to get however amount, the 46,000 that she needs to fix everything that needs to be done there at the clubhouse. I think we need to set it up as part of the agenda so that they can approve it at the city council meeting. She gets her amount by the beginning of the month, next month, from that. And I'm not sure if it even has to come from that yet. So that's why I told you, we need to identify what that fund is for. That if the city, or any of those items that Ruth has on her list can be appropriated from that fund, then fine. That it's specifically made for that, then that's fine. Any other amount that is not part of that she needs to get appropriated from city funds, from another fund, then we need to address it then, so that we can be prepared. And that part of the deal is done. The part about the sand, that's, I thought we had approved that we were gonna get monies for that
Yeah,
already.
no, they told me to hit that, city manager told me to go through that fund.
So that's what I'm saying, now we need to identify whether or not it specifically says on that fund if it can be used for sand.
I don't think that was the intent of that fund. The
Yeah.
intent of the fund was to maintain and refurbish the building
Right.
in the clubhouse.
Now, my plan B would be hitting CBB for this money, because is to improve for bringing the heads in beds, that's my plan B.
That's not a bad idea.
The hotel tax.
That was the whole, we have, the resources are there to tap about 5 or 6 sources of revenue that can help this whole thing happen. But, and I'm not even sure if even your department can get it and then get reimbursed for that.
Right.
You know, so.
Let me give you an
and for-
example.
For the sake of speed here.
Right.
I think we're gonna have to get a little bit more creative.
Even if I have to
and get-
go into my department and get it out of the CBB motel hotel line item that I have,
Uh-huh.
because this is what let me give you for example. Right now, I'm improving the lights at Sinaloa baseball field. I'm improving the lights at Nixon baseball field. I'm improving the lights at Benavides softball. I'm improving the lights at Slaughter because those fields are used by Water Olympics.
Right.
Because it's bringing heads and beds. So I have a good little chunk of money there.
Yeah.
That's under a hotel motel that's been allocated for the year. If worst case being, I have enough money to cover this
Okay.
if we need to. Well, we get all this thing taken care of. But I just have to.
I just think that you need to put an asterisk on that, that I don't want it to come off of your, that's why I was telling you at the beginning. I like the idea that now, the max falls under your department, but I want to get it so that it can be an independent body, that it responds and acts on its own.
Right.
So that they don't have to tap into be doing this kind of stuff.
Right.
Tap it into your funds.
Right.
I mean, right now, it's fairly new, we can do that, but we need to get to the point where it's
its own.
living and breathing on its own, and
Right.
because I think it can.
So I think the main question now is if we can tap into that account, and if it does have to be for this, if not, does it have to go to city manager, have to go to council? Does it have to go to council? That's what Mr. Castillo said?
Mr. Castillo said if it's going through this to the capital replacement, yes.
Okay.
For the sand,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, for the sign.
I don't know.
Maybe like what you're saying is maybe it would, being that it's not being used for that.
For the
Mr.
intended
Castillo
purpose, you
approved,
might have the authorization for that.
The improvements, the repairs to the building.
There was something in there that says, and anything else, right?
Okay, so, but if there's a way to have to go and do that, maybe I could tap into the hotel motel line item that I have. But so.
What was the total amount that was?
So can you check on that, Dan?
Building repairs?
I know Robert is out, he's coming back today, I think. Yeah, he's out in San Antonio. So the sand is about $35,000. And the capital, 103,000 specifies that can it reuse money from there? All right, and then I'll call him on the road and tell him, hey, because of this, we need to move on, then maybe I can tap into my hotel motel line item that I have. Because that's what I'm fixing the field right now with Board Olympics, because it's bringing heads and beds. Okay, so, by the way, Dan McGee from
Dan.
traffic, I know we had a couple of questions, Dan, but maybe, so, well,
Okay, we're done with this issue right here.
Yes.
Everybody's in line, that we
I
need to act fast on this.
Yes.
And let's figure out what else we need to do. Dan, welcome to our meeting here, a little humble abode. Mr. Hine had a perfect question to ask before you got here regarding the road coming in from Mines Road into the golf course. And I'm not sure, we were talking about,
I think Louis had the.
oh, no, I'm sorry, yeah.
What did I do?
The maintenance aspect of that road.
Oh, yeah, it's.
Before
just
it gets
happens,
any
you
worse,
know.
obviously it
What,
doesn't
you
have-
have 4 inches of asphalt or something, maybe
No
6
footing,
or
no anything.
something, but it's
Curb.
gonna wear out,
Yeah.
that's the nature of the beast.
You talking about the actual road?
Yes, sir, leading from the Mines Road to the cattle guard.
No,
No, sir.
the entrance to the Max Golf Course, all that
Yeah.
headed into the parking lot.
Yeah.
There is a question in there, obviously, the absolute maintenance that belongs to who, identifying that, number one, and then number two, it's getting to the point where, there's a couple of dips in there that weren't there before, that we can see that it's gonna be a foreseeable problem that is gonna cost more to fix. And so we're trying to, obviously, get ahead of
Yeah.
the problem.
Plus, there's development going on out there, as you know, and it's gonna be used a heck of a lot more with heavy vehicles.
And actually, for better or for worse, you might not like what I'm about to hear, but I notified TxDOT of the development because when I was with TxDOT 7 months ago, I was the one that actually gave the driveway for that golf course, and it was based on it being the golf course,
Mhm.
not a subdivision.
Yeah.
So TxDOT might be looking into saying that road is not built for the location or the deceleration lane. It's gotta be looked at completely now that it's a subdivision. Because I understand also across the street there's a subdivision coming in.
Yes.
Right.
So it's all gonna be looked at all together.
You're talking across the highway?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the condition of the road, I work really well with Mr. Fila, the Public Works Director. I can ask him, this is the first year in 5 or 6 years that he finally got some money to do roads with. I'm not sure, I'm not sure. I'm 100% sure he didn't budget any money for this. So I can ask him to see, because there's some roads I'm pointing out to him that, kind of like what you said, if you spend a little bit of money now, you're gonna avoid a lot of money later on. So I can mention it to him.
If it can become part of the, and we had a great meeting 2 meetings ago with that development, we were talking about how it's gonna look for over the next 10 years and the number of people that are gonna be going in and out.
That would be the way I would pursue it.
I would say.
Was it built for that kind of traffic?
Right.
So they need to be put up.
Right, and so that if we do something about it right now to not make it any worse, that we can set it up over the next 5 years, what's that road gonna look like? And so we can start budgeting for that and start asking and submitting the right request so that it can be done. But for now, you know, like I said, there's a couple of extra dips in there that weren't there before. There's some runoff on some of the areas that are not, which by the way, I'm gonna offset here for a little bit before I forget, and I keep seeing Dennis all the time. After you tee off on number 10, that little curve, you have water gathering there. It needs to just, get in talachin and let the water run through, because the sprinklers turn on, it gathers water there, and it is just ponding in there.
Well, you'll probably be there Saturday after the high school.
Yeah, give it to me.
Yeah.
No.
Well, right. No, that's what I'm saying. Let me know so I can go and see.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying, I'll take my talachin. It's just an open.
I've got one for you.
I know exactly what to do.
Have you seen his game? It might help him.
Is it the same swing?
Just put a ball in there and I'll open it up.
It is for me.
Just pull a ball in there and I'll open it up. But anyway, I'll go back to the road. It's, so, yeah, if you can communicate with JJ here and let us know what we can do. The theme of the meeting today, more than anything else, was that we're gonna get approval for the Border Olympics to be in there.
It's a reflection of the city, so.
Thank you. That's exactly what we're saying. The mentality here is that we get a chance to showcase
You're
it.
driving up in a bad road, so what's the golf course gonna look like?
Right.
Of course.
Well, wait till it gets hot, then it's gonna spread out in the.
So yeah, Jay, if you can
Nothing.
maintain
Sure.
communication with Dan and let's get this thing going.
You got a customer to fill up on Public Works and maybe.
Yeah.
The striping, he'll do it,
I've got a lot of money right now that he didn't
Budget
for.
anything with.
Nobody thinks about it.
Yeah, and so that's what this committee's formed now, that we're gonna have absolute communication between both entities in here. So we're okay.
I just wanted to bring something up real quickly. It's
Sure.
that, it seems to me that a mentoring program would be a really good thing out there, like for Tom to have extra help. Just kids from the college, kids from high school.
I think
it's a super good idea.
we talked. That might have been the one meeting you didn't make, Louis. That
Well,
we talked.
I brought it up before.
Yeah, she.
I spoke to Melinda Bermudez, she's the director of HR.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a meeting next week talking about the mentoring program.
Excellent.
So for the next meeting, February, I'll give you more
Excellent.
information. on
And
that.
this is just more people out there working on the golf course.
If you need, kids in the high school level, especially LISD, they have to perform certain community service hours out there for them to learn a little bit something about this. Plus, we have you can mention, we have our internship programs that we're looking for stuff for the kids to do over the summer and throughout the year.
Do you know who I need to speak for LISD or yours?
I'll get you that information. I can get you that information. Great. Okay, is there anything else that we need to go over? Everybody satisfied? Anybody need anything that they want to see or speak about for next meeting?
What was the balance, ma'am, the best right now?
It's $103,000 with $36.14.
And that's updated from, because the last time it was
Last month.
99,000, so it's already updated with the
And through end of January, or December, I'm sorry.
end of December.
Yes.
That's a lot of rounds, you said that's a lot of rounds.
Yeah. That's 4,000 rounds right there.
No, it's probably November and December. 'Cause we do about 10,000.
That's what I'm saying, so that's
Yeah.
about 4,000 rounds right there, it's $1 a round.
Mhm.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Okay,
Right,
thank you.
Dennis? We weren't sure we even had that many.
No, I know. That's why I'm not
We're all
getting hope. I'm
pretty
just
decided.
waiting. I'm just waiting.
No,
for
so that's why I'm glad that I'm very happy with it, we got this thing going and got it off the
Yeah,
ground, man.
that's a
This
great
is
sign.
gonna be good, now you're gonna see, what we really can do here. and I'm pretty proud of that. For next meeting, anybody have any ideas? If you don't have any ideas right now, make sure that you call Ruth or JJ and make sure that they put it on the agenda for discussion for next month.
Any concerns or anything that you all hear from the golfers out there, you know?
I just want to mention how we're going to do the Senior Olympics on March.
Oh, yes,
It's going to be
yes, okay.
awesome. 50 and over.
Yeah, so we're having, for the first time, our department, Parks and Rec Department, I really want to get out there. For the first time, we're gonna host the Senior Olympics the first week of March. And there's 15 sports that are gonna be played. There was 14. And when I heard about it, hey, we might put golf in now, put golf in there.
You
So we're
need
gonna-
to.
So I said, we're gonna put golf in there, and it's the Monday, March 2nd, for 50 and over.
We'll talk, but we should do it flighted because if not,
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of sandbaggers. Yeah, so you have to be 50 and over. We wanna get, again, people out there, for $15 to, covers the round in the golf.
Can we do a super seniors?
I was going to tell you that maybe 70 and over super senior.
Yeah, we could do super.
The golden
Part
Olympics.
three.
Part three.
So,
Well, I can try to run
15
part three.
over, $15 on the first Monday in March that we're gonna have out there. Hopefully, no money, of course, we're gonna get medals and all that for a lot of people out there.
Jay, what I want to see next month and over the next couple of months is we need to come up with a game plan as to how we're gonna hit the summer months again, or the heat. We need to figure out a way. I don't know. We number one, give us a report on the safety aspect of being out there. I had mentioned that we need to have a safety station maybe on
Oh, yeah.
in the bathroom on number 3. Defibrillator or something available in that area.
Okay.
And how our safety plan is available, we have that available. Number one, and then number two, and with these monies that we have, or with this tournament that we have, I'm not sure if it's what the committee thinks, and it's gonna be all up to us to figure a way that we don't have a turnaround. We don't start number 1 and get to the clubhouse on number 9. We have to go all the way around. So we need to figure a mid-range area, either a permanent little structure in between number 12 and number 10, where people can get beer or drinks or whatever it is, or put some little structure or something in the driving range. You know, that you can have, instead of Fab going over, driving around and doing everything that she does, that we can have that, but we also have a center station in there. I've always thought, or people have always come up to me and said, that it'd be good if you turn on the grill on the driving range, on Saturdays, and put a deck in there or something so that people can hang out in that area. And plus, we have other functions that it can be used for. It can be a platform so you can give out trophies and all that kind of stuff for, I know we have that middle area for the bike trail, for the birding, or somewhere that people can hang out in shade that don't have to necessarily go all the way to the clubhouse for.
Right, okay.
I mean, while they're playing. We want them at the clubhouse. We want them to go buy stuff over there. But there's got to be a center point area in there, and let's look at that. I'm not saying that we need to do it, but let's look at having some ideas to do that.
It might be corny to say, but pitching washers and stuff behind the clubhouse, people will sit out there for hours and hours drinking beer doing that kind of stuff, If you want them around the golf course, I mean.
And so it brings us back to what we were gonna do. We were gonna, I'm sure that window facing the river's eating our lunch with our light bill. So we were gonna try and figure out how to put that lattice back to work and cover the sun. We were there watching the game last week.
hard.
It's hard. I mean, the sun's hitting us right there,
Yeah.
and if you're sitting in that area, it's just killing you.
We couldn't get any screens?
So no, we were gonna look into those solar screens, or we were gonna fix and put bougainvilleas on top of that lattice.
It's
that's
going to
there.
look awesome.
That what Berman went that one time?
That's what we were working with Berman when.
Yeah, so our horticulturist resigned last month, so we had a plan for him, so we're gonna have to find, maybe we get the.
A lot of
forester.
turnover, man.
So yeah, there was already a plan in work, must
Yeah,
unfortunately.
and it'd be good before the spring starts,
Yeah.
that we can.
Excuse myself.
Yes, sir, go ahead. Before the green starts, before the spring starts, kinda wanna have everything in line so that it can beautify the area with the, everything that Ruth is gonna fix in there and everything that, to beautify the area. And I'm
We
sure
have
that
already
it's
set up
only
the
gonna help
seats.
us, it's only gonna help us in this manner also. that if, you've had some beautiful weddings out there. If that whole area, if we can fix it up even further so that they can have them at any time during the day, morning weddings or whatever it is, so that we can get away from the darn sun. You know, it's a beautiful little spot back there that I think we can do something that's gonna not only help us with energy efficiency, but it's gonna help beautify that whole back area so that we can get more people in there.
This year we went ahead and purchased blue bonnets, and Tom's getting ready to the whole cemetery area.
Oh, good.
The blue bonnets, and then the area off the range where you're coming in. So
Right.
you know how we have those dry spots?
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
sprinkler? We're gonna put blue bonnets there just to
State
kind of
flowers, so that's good.
make it pop. Because we got a lot of people come take pictures. I think yesterday we had 2 photo sessions.
Yeah.
So it just makes them want to come back, and then we're gonna get a sign that
So
says.
that's what I'm talking about, that, even that area at the entrance,
Mhm.
right wherever the cattle guard is at.
Mhm.
We need to, once the development comes in, we're gonna be kind of on our own to try and even beautify that area even more.
Right.
So that's down the line, so we can keep it in our agenda as we go along, the beautification aspect of the golf course. We can have these type of discussions and these type of ideas, and then we can figure out how we can allocate those monies to get that done. Go ahead.
Just one thing. One of the things that when I came on this committee, I was talking with Dennis from the get-go was establishing a city championship.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, I know that the club has the rights to the Laredo Open, even though it's the vast majority of its members playing. But what I'm saying is that I think a city championship would be a great idea for the golf course. You bring everyone down, you make it a 2-day event. I mean, you can even make some money with a qualifying event, just to make sure, if we have too many people, you have a qualifying event, those that qualify get to play for the rights to say they're the best golfer in Laredo. I mean, I think that would be a great idea for this golf course. It's such a great golf course. It's difficult for those of us that played it. I mean, let's see who the best golfer is for the year, you know, and maybe the winner could get a parking spot closest to the clubhouse.
There you go.
And that's their spot for the year, you
Right.
know?
That's a good idea.
I mean, I think that would be good, and you can also make some money off of it if you do it the right way. These tournaments make money. I mean, the city of San Antonio has it, the San Antonio City Championship, the city
Right.
championship. Every city has one. Why can't we have one?
And they go by flights.
Yeah, you go by flights, yeah. And the one who's in, you know, you have 5 flights, 5 spots. This is A, B, C, and D. And if you wanna, you know, we know who goes out there and plays golf and how good they are, no matter, even though they report a worse
So
handicap.
it starts on Wednesday or so, and that you qualify on Wednesday?
Yeah, you can qualify on a Wednesday or Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's medal play. I know that most of the tournaments we have are scrambles. Scrambles are fun, they
Yeah.
take forever, but whatever. But a medal play would be great. Everyone play their ball the way it's supposed to, you know? I think that would be cool.
I don't think there's anything like that in the winter months or latter part of fall, so.
Yeah, we would
It
want
might
to
be-
do it opposite of the Open.
Yeah,
That way it gives
November,
Exactly.
later October, maybe
When
in
is the
December.
Open?
Usually late April.
Like the week after the
Yeah.
Masters or week before the Masters.
Mhm. So.
I mean, let's keep it at the forefront in our
that's-
agenda.
You know, maybe that's something that we can host as the golf committee.
Yeah.
Because then you can sell the sponsorships,
Yeah.
you can do all that, and
Yeah.
that
Yep.
money can be used for whatever we want to
Absolutely.
improve at the golf course.
Yes, sir.
You know, we
Yes,
make
sir.
money for everybody else through
Why
all
not?
these, and for good causes.
Yeah.
But why not for the match?
I mean, we did it, it's sort of what you did the last
Yeah,
2
let's-
weeks. Dennis had
Oh, yeah.
2 tournaments,
Oh, yeah.
and it was the 4-man, don't do the 5-man anymore. That 4-man was good, but something like that, where
It
we can
benefits
collaborate
you.
like that, it'll stay within, and the monies can be used for whatever we're gonna be needing out there, you know.
Coach, I'm
whatever
gonna
we
need
get
your
for-
real handicap coach.
But that's something to look at, like I said, those are
For
this is
the
the type
future.
of, this is the type of ideas. No, let's get aggressive on it and see if we can have it,
What month
maybe
you looking at, Mike?
October, November.
Yeah, October, November, the weather's, and it's opposite, so they can save a little money from this one to that one.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's tournaments that raise 20 to 30 grand, and that could be money that we could use to go back into the golf course, besides what we have, you know, that. But if everybody, you know, all these great causes raise money, why not raise money for ourselves?
Exactly.
The
But,
tournament will be there.
Yeah.
You might
Absolutely.
consider doing it, I don't know if it's feasible to do, but it's always the weekend before Thanksgiving or something like that, where most of the people come in from out of town or whatever, but then we're losing that revenue. So let's just keep it at the forefront of the agenda, and let's see where we stand every month. on-
2020.
And in any of these items.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 2020, well, I wanna make this, now we can take off. Now we've identified a couple of items in here, as far as how the monies are used and where we go. Now as a group, we can really do a lot of special things for this golf course, you know, throughout 2020. So the more things we come around, I think we have pretty sharp minds in here. We can go ahead and
We could probably
and we
build
can
that
make it
shack
shine.
with that money
Huh?
easily. We could probably build that little shack that you
Yeah.
want with that
Yeah.
money and name it the golf committees or whatever.
Yeah,
It'll pay for itself.
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
You gotta do it right though,
One-
with the
one-
advertising and
I just thought
everything.
about the one last thing, so when we were doing the walkthrough for the Carrizo that we're gonna knock out, we walked over to the cemetery. Have you gotten any about the out of bounds back there?
Well, no, Tom put that there because he's afraid when people go do photos, so that they at least see the red stake, meaning danger. It's really not out of bounds. Yeah.
Okay, so we were walking down there, and then we walked to the cemetery, and there was red stakes.
You'd be
And who hit it over there?
When the wind's blowing,
You know what I'm
some
talking about, the
people just-
cemetery? Dan,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Cemetery?
There's a cemetery back there by the clubhouse.
He's like, what?
Yeah, right next to, did they get rid, I hope the little porcelain cups that were there, I hope they're still there. I found a baby deal, and then there was a couple of little porcelain cups in there. You know, right
Yeah,
when
they're
it was
all
built.
children.
Huh?
There's no adults there. It's
Yeah,
all children.
yeah,
But you haven't gotten any, no, because you have people playing back there or?
No, nobody's ever played back there. We've had a couple people that hit it kind of by the clubhouse or in the back, but not all the way over there. But Tom was more worried that because the people, now that they go take photographs and everybody's taking these selfies in these risky areas, he's like, at least we have something posted there. So maybe we'll get rid of that so that nobody gets confused and we'll just put a sign there, please watch your
Yeah.
step.
Is it on the 18 hole or the other side?
It's kind of by the clubhouse, by the 18th, but
Past
by
the
the
18th
clubhouse.
hole.
Past the
So if you're looking, let's say you come out right out the doors of the thing on the left, there's a little area there that's a cemetery.
Oh.
Right after the little
Oh.
fence there, kind of.
Cemetery.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know there's a cemetery.
Actually, one of my relatives is buried there, believe it or not. I found that out.
We have birders, ghost hunters, it's all the same.
We got everything.
If we can get a plan, also the other thing, Jay, once you get approval, or once they tell you, okay, we're going tomorrow, but Border Patrol is gonna go out there and get it done, that everybody knows about that.
Maybe we can set up a meeting at the Max once again, coming in the next coming months, you know, especially when the spring season hits, so you can see how everything's coming together.
Maybe
With
March
the
we can
Border
meet
Patrol guys, or just?
Hopefully, if the
We go
Border
right
Patrol
after an
guys,
18 hole round and then we'll just meet.
that'd be fantastic.
That's it, but I mean, but that, I'd like to see what they're gonna do first, because, and see if it's not anything of what we're thinking, how we can.
Maybe we can put him in the agenda, Border Patrol,
23rd, I mean.
the one I met with Sammy Moreno.
Huh?
Sammy Moreno.
What about it?
He's the one that was out there.
Oh, okay, good, yeah.
Yeah.
Sam.
Tony makes a great point, you know, we talk about the golf course all the time, but that way
Sammy
maybe we
Moreno.
do a playing meeting.
I'll give you his contact.
Where we go out and play,
Great idea.
you know, we play 9 and then we have our meeting, whoever wants to play the rest.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Once a year, like I said, the one that we meet over there.
Yeah, we'll play.
Okay, well, if there's anything else, everybody satisfied? Got everything
No
going?
sandbagging.
No, sir, no, sir. I'll pay for my teas, I promise.
Okay. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you all for being here.